it would not be incorrect to suggest that the focus of Bamidbar Perek 3 was Shevet Levi. Firstly, their eventual relationship to the Kahuna, and secondly, the decision by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to undertake a change, the replacement of the Bechorim with Shevet Levi as religious functionaries and as assistants to the Kahuna. We have the opening 4 Pasukim dealing with Aharon and his descendants. Bulk of the Perek dealt with Shevet Levi. 40 to 43 we have a census that Moshe was to undertake in counting the Bechorim, and finally God's informing Moshe that the Bechorim were to be replaced by Shevet Levi. Taking a closer look at the largest of the 4 subsections, from Pasuk 5 to 10 we have the role of Shevet Levi, which included the 4 Pasukim that the Rebbe discussed in the SICHAH up until this point in time. From Pasuk 14 to 39 we have the actual census undertaken by Moshe of Shevet Levi, and inserted between these 2 subsections is the second communication between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Moshe regarding the selection of Shevet Levi. It will be Rashi's commentary to this segment that will form the basis for question number 6 of the 9 questions in this series, and specifically Bamidbar 3 Pasuk 12. Once again, using the translation of the Gutnik Chumash to this Pasuk, the sections in red reflect additional information provided by Rashi. In his commentary, the Pasuk states, Va'ani hinei lakachti et halavim mitoch b'nei Yisrael, where God tells Moshe, if you want to know why, indeed, I have taken the B'nai Levi from amongst the rest of B'nai Yisrael, tachat kol bechor peter rechem mi B'nai Yisrael, it is because I took them instead of all the firstborn of every womb from amongst the B'nai Yisrael. V'hayu li halavim, since the firstborn worshipped the Egel HaZahav, so I decided instead that the B'nai Yisrael shall be mine. So that what on the surface reading of the text was a statement of fact that the firstborn were to be replaced by Shevet Levi, according to Rashi, Pasuk 3:12, becomes an explanation and a justification to Moshe Rabbeinu for the change that was about to take place. In a footnote recorded in the Art Scroll translation of Rashi, there is a justification for the changes that Rashi makes in his commentary to this pasuk. According to the footnote, the 3 words mitoch b'nei Yisrael are superfluous. The text could have been written Vani hini lakachti et halavim, I have taken, selected Shevet Levi takat kol bechor peterechem mi b'nei Yisrael, to replace the firstborn of each family amongst the nation. Rashi's commentary to the words mitoch b'nei Yisrael is that the Leviim would act as shlichim on behalf of the nation. Sheyihiyu Yisrael socherin otam, that the nation was to have a quasi-financial agreement with Shevet Levi, that they would socherin, hire them, l'sherot sheli, for my, in other words, God's service, God's avodah. This ultimately was to be played out through the Maaser Rishon that was given to Shevet Levi, in exchange for the service that Shevet Levi provided on behalf of the people. Accordingly, the mitoch of the phrase mitoch b'nei Yisrael is understood by Rashi as from amongst the b'nei Yisrael. Herein lies the 6th of the 9 anomalies that the Rebbe raised regarding Rashi's commentary to this segment of Chumash, that in Pasuk 12 the Pshuta Shel Mikra of Mitoch B'nei Yisrael would interpret the word Mitoch as separated from the B'nai Yisrael, and Rashi in his commentary counterintuitively understands the Mitoch merely as from amongst the B'nai Yisrael, whereas the Pshuta Shel Mikra of Pasuk Tet, Netunim Heimali Mi'et B'nai Yisrael, would understand the Mi'et as from amongst, and here Rashi, ignoring the Pshuta Shel Mikra, reads the Mi'et as Nivdalu Lakach, separated from, that B'nai Levi have been separated away from the rest of the nation. In summary, In Bamidbar 3:12, where the wording is Mitoch B'nai Yisrael, and the Pshuta Shel Mikra of the word Mitoch points to a separation from the main body, Rashi reads the word Mitoch as Mi'et, from amongst the main body, while in Pasuk Tet, where the wording is Me'et B'nai Yisrael, and the Pshuta Shel Mikra of the word Me'et is from amongst, Rashi ignores the Pshuta Shel Mikra and treats the Me'et as if it had written Mitoch B'nai Yisrael. The B'nai Levi have been separated away from the rest of the B'nai Yisrael.